The attorneys in this Rittenhouse case have revealed that Gage Grosskreutz could stand to make a handsome sum of money depending on which way this trial goes. And we're talking about millions and millions of buckaroos. Hey guys, before we get into today's video, I want to give a real quick shout out to today's sponsor, Virtual Shield VPN. And the reason I promote it, guys, is because I use it every single day and I know that it works, and I've proven it in videos in the past. If you use the link in the description, you're going to get 50% off, and that's going to help you protect your identity, your activity, and your location anytime you're surfing on the net. That link is in the description below. There's an element of money making involved in this. It's come out that this Gage character has submitted a lawsuit so that he could get himself $10 million out of this deal. Listen to this.
And I know this wasn't addressed, but you have...
This is so damning. This defense attorney does a really good job putting this guy on the spot.
Exhibit 62.
And this is new. Look, you can tell this is new to the prosecution's ears. He had never heard of Exhibit 62. It looks like. Watch this. He just blasts this Gage guy wide open. This is just another element to the Kyle Rittenhouse trial that a lot of people, you're not going to see it on MSLSD because they're on a witch hunt. They're too busy witch hunting to give you this information.
So I'm going to show you what has been marked as exhibit number 62.
That's Exhibit 62.
This is a notice of claim. Is that right?
That is correct.
Notice of claim.
Filed on your behalf by your lawyer, right?
That is correct, yes.
Making a notice or telling, among others, the city and county of Kenosha that you would like $10 million.
No. Okay, so Gage Grosskreutz, lawyer, has made a claim against the city and county in Kenosha to the tune of $10 million. But listen to the interesting piece of information that they leave out of the claim.
True.
This is so interesting.
That is correct.
$10 million.
Did you read this?
I did.
So are you aware in this document, you never mentioned that you actually possessed a firearm? You know that?
That is correct.
You left that part out, right?
That is correct.
Judge, I would move.
By the way, this is his lawyer right here. This lady, I don't know if you can see it right up here behind this guy with the muzzle on. That's his lawyer.
Move 62.
Is there objection?
No.
Received.
You then had, shortly thereafter, I want to say in October, I'm going to show you what is Exhibit 63. You have now filed a lawsuit in federal court. Is that right?
That is correct.
Did you read that?
Yes, I did.
In that document, you again failed to mention that you possessed a firearm.
Twice.
Is that right?
Twice.
That is correct.
Oops.
So you, in these documents that you are filing with courts, you are leaving out the fact that you had possessed a firearm when you were shot, right?
That is correct.
And this is, so to be fair, this is your testimony today, and how this case turns out has an impact on your ability to try to collect your $10 million, right?
That is correct.
So if he's convicted, if Mr. Rittenhouse is convicted, your chance of getting $10 million is better, right?
I'm not entirely sure how that plays out.
Haven't had any conversations with your lawyer about
Well,
that?
you're not going to ask about conversations with
Nope.
his lawyer.
Okay, fair enough. You're aware that if Mr. Rittenhouse is convicted, your chances of getting the $10 million are better?
I'm going to object, Your Honor. This has been asked and answered, and I don't think he's got a basis to answer that.
Judge,
Well, I was sustained on the first ground.
I would move 63.
Objection?
No.
Received.
$10 million leaves off a vital component of the entire story.
So you were asked by Attorney Binger about a live stream that you had been running that evening, right?
That is correct.
Now there's some wires crossed with the defense right here, and they're trying to get the information, and the information isn't forthcoming. So there's just some dead space here. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. There's another real interesting piece of information coming out. Check this out.
You see that going on, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so if we're being honest with one another, he appears to be trying to kick him in the face, right?
In this photograph, yes.
Okay. How far away from this when it's going on are you?
I don't recall how far away I was exactly when this action occurred.
You're a matter of feet, right?
I think that's a fair thing to say.
Okay.
Close.
All right, and you're seeing this, so you are having some concern, maybe as a medic or while you're training, that Kyle Rittenhouse is in physical danger. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So, and you believe he's in physical danger because he's being attacked, right? That's fair.
It's a fair thing to say, yes.
Okay. So you see this, then you see. Can you bring up the Huber picture, please?
Man, they should have had this more smooth and streamlined.
Then you see Mr.
Bring up the picture, will ya?
You know you didn't know it then, but you know now that's Anthony Huber, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you saw this happening, right?
Correct.
And it was no more from me to you away probably at that point, true?
I don't recall, but that's probably
Like
fair.
ballpark?
Yes.
And in fact, you had mentioned to the officers that you even recalled Mr. Huber holding onto the trucks of that skateboard when he was striking you, right?
Correct.
And that, to be fair, as a medic, that concerned you, did it not?
I think anytime that there's a risk of head trauma, it's a risk.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So, you believe in this picture, one of the reasons you wanted to intervene was you believe that Mr. Rittenhouse was in danger of being seriously hurt, right?
In part, yes.
Wow.
And
So he just established that one of the guys who got shot by Rittenhouse, as that guy who's testifying in this hearing, reveals that not only was he pointing a loaded Glock 27 at Rittenhouse's head while he was advancing toward him, Rittenhouse had already been assaulted twice by two different guys, and he was the third guy coming up to him to assault him. And the guy who's supposed to be testifying against Rittenhouse just testified that Rittenhouse's life was in danger.
And you had mentioned to the police that evening that you tried telling Mr. Huber, you just said the guy, but you tried telling the guy to stop hitting him with the skateboard. Is that right?
That is what I put in my statement, yes.
Is that true?
With the benefit of hindsight, I don't believe that to be true, no.
Okay, so when you told that to the police that you told the guy with the skateboard to stop hitting him, that's not correct, that's not true.
That is correct.
So a guy whose life was being endangered by dropkick guy and skateboard guy, Anthony Huber, the paramedic decided to put his life in more peril by pointing a loaded firearm at his head. Got it.
Now, your original statement then to the police was, I tried telling the guy to stop hitting him with the skateboard. The guy on the ground then turned over, racked the weapon, and pointed his gun at me and shot me, right?
That is correct, yes.
You omitted the fact that you ran up on him and had a Glock pistol in your hand, right? You left that out.
Correct.
Would you think
This defense attorney is about to get this guy in the pretzel on the mat in front of everybody.
in a case where you are shot, that providing the police information that you were actually possessing a firearm at the time would be relevant?
I think that's fair, yes.
Okay. But you didn't think it was relevant to tell him that day, correct?
It's not that I didn't think it wasn't relevant.
Here goes the excuse.
After the defendant had shot me, I had just gotten out of surgery when the Kenosha police officers had arrived and just gone through one of the most traumatic experiences in my life, both emotionally and physically. I'd just gotten out of surgery. Had just been sedated. I was on pain meds. So,
Go ahead, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
sorry. It wouldn't have been a purposeful omission.
You were asked at that same statement what you did for work, and you refused to answer that, right?
That is correct.
So you made a conscious decision to not answer that.
That is correct.
You weren't so drugged that you couldn't answer that question, right?
I refused because I was worried for my safety.
My point is that you had a thoughtful process not to answer that. True?
That is correct.
You told this officer specifically what Mr. Rittenhouse was wearing, correct?
That is correct.
You had a thoughtful process. Even though you just got out of surgery and were drugged and whatever else was going on, which I understand, you were still able to answer all those questions to the best of your ability, and they were accurate, right?
To the best of my ability, yes.
Okay. So the fact that you failed to mention that you possessed a firearm when you were shot and that you dropped it, were those things that you forgot because of your medication?
I would say not only the medication, but also the traumatic experience that I had just gone through.
And you understand it's the only information that you appeared to have forgotten that puts you with a gun directly in front of him, right?
That is correct.
Like the most important information of the night in regard to Grosskreutz. Sounds convenient. Got to win that lawsuit.
You are also then interviewed again by law enforcement in September. Is that right?
That is correct.
You bring your lawyer.
Correct.
Mr. Binger's there?
Not in person.
Here goes the nail in the coffin, guys, and then we'll be done with this.
Okay, but he's present in the...
He is attending the meeting, yes.
And there were three...
Sorry, he was present via Zoom.
Okay, and there were a total, if you remember, three prosecutors present, right?
The only two people who I were aware were their official
That
is correct, capacity was the lead detective,
This is your...
Ben Antaramian,
Wait, this is
pronounced
right.
that correctly,
This is your...
and then Mr. Binger.
Okay.
But as for the other people, I'm sure they mentioned their names, but those were the two people that stuck out, I guess I should say.
So the people that you recall, Detective Antaramian, Mr. Binger, your lawyer, and you.
Correct.
And you were asked on that day, which would be, now that would be your second statement, you were asked about what had happened, right?
Correct.
And had you viewed some of the video between the shooting and the interview that you gave on, I think it was the 24th of September?
I can't say for sure, but I would say it's a very fair guess that I had at least seen something at that point, or by that point.
And in that interview,
Prosecuting
you don't
attorney.
answer any questions
Prosecuting attorney is zoning out.
about the shooting, do you?
No, I do not.
This lead detective on a homicide case, where you are also shot, is trying to gather information to figure out exactly what went on, and you refuse to answer questions about that, right?
About specifically about the shooting?
Yeah.
That is correct.
Was that your decision or your lawyer's decision?
That was the advice that my counsel gave me.
So your counsel wouldn't let you answer questions about your involvement. True?
I wouldn't say that she wouldn't let me, but she advised against it.
So your statements about what actually happened, first time that we're getting an insight as to what actually happened is today.
Yep.
Right?
That's true.
I don't think that's accurate.
It is accurate.
Well, on the 24th, you refused to answer questions, right?
The 24th of...
September.
Correct.
And the day after the incident, you acknowledge you left out the fact that you even had a gun,
Yep.
right?
That is correct.
Yep. So now is the first time you're getting the full view.
You were asked, Mr. Binger asked you about this, you were asked for permission to look through your phone, right?
I do recall that, yes.
You never actually gave your phone to Detective Antaramian to look through, did you?
My phone was picked up off the street the night of the 25th. So, no, I didn't give my phone to anybody. Somebody, and I'm assuming a police officer had picked it up.
My question to you, that wasn't my question to you. My question to you was, Detective Antaramian asked you for permission to look through your phone, and you never gave him your phone. True?
I never gave him permission to look through my phone, no.
Are you
That's-
aware that he had a search warrant for your phone?
No, I was not.
So,
They're trying to get their act together right here too.
I'm going to walk you through a little bit of the video, okay? Are we going to kind of...
I haven't been notified that the lunch is here, but
They're talking about lunch. Let's see.
He was re-racking his gun or something, right?
All right, that's pretty much it. So what mainstream media, at least on the left side of the left versus right paradigm lie, won't mention is that there were claims. There's a claim, a $10 million claim filed by Gage and his attorney, which is this woman right here. That's his attorney right here, and she was sitting out in the as a spectator of this hearing right here. So just damaging all around for Gage Grosskreutz. He already admitted that he might as well have just said, yeah, I jeopardized the life. Right before he pulled the trigger, I jeopardized the life of Kyle Rittenhouse. Right before he pulled the trigger on the other guy was jeopardizing his life. Right before that happened, his life was being jeopardized. And of course, with a lot of testimony from a lot of people, his life was being allegedly jeopardized by Rosenbaum, who had just been released from prison 2 days before and has a pedophilia record. He was criminally charged with 11 counts of sexual assault on children. 5 of those were young boys, ages, 5 to 11 or something like that. I don't know, just super young. So just bad stuff. Bad stuff altogether. Leave your thoughts. I want to hear what you have to say about this.
Hey guys, we know with the way things have been going, it can get really interesting really quick. So make sure you and your family have a long-term storable food supply. Support the channel and get $50 off with my link in the description while you still can.